The central one. So, I just found out yesterday that my wife of 3 months, who I've been with for 7 years, has been cheating on me for 2 years. I can't even believe this is happening to me. We've been together since college and I've always loved her. I don't know what to do at this point. Is it even possible to move past this and save our marriage? I'm completely heartbroken, but I still do have feelings for her. We are going to go to a marriage counselor, but I don't know how they can help me trust her again. She claims she wants to be with me and have a future with me, but I can't even tell if she's lying anymore. The guy was someone she met at work a couple years ago. He doesn't work there anymore. She said that she wanted to tell me a while ago, before the wedding. We had a big fight one day and she told me she's confused about us. And then the very next day her mom tried to commit X because she's been battling depression ever since my wife's husband passed. After that we never really talked about anything too much. She now said that she didn't want to break her mom's heart by canceling the wedding and risk her trying to take her life again. I don't know what to do. She does seem like she wants to make things work. I do believe she's really willing. But who knows? I could just be in denial. I was always the guy that said I wouldn't hesitate to end things if something like this happened. It's just so complicated now though, and I still have feelings for her. But I don't know. I also don't know if I can see things being the same. I found text messages between her and her friend. The guy is married, but separated I think, with 2 kids. She ended it with the other guy yesterday. She claims that she'll never talk to him again and wants to just focus on us. Neither of us have ever been married or engaged. I installed the keylogger on my computer. Man, I just can't even believe what I found. She had a secret email that she used to keep in touch with him, dated back to over a year. She was messaging him around our wedding dates and from our honeymoon saying that she would rather be there with him. And she didn't cut contact with him even though she repeatedly swore to me that she would. I can't believe someone I trusted so much was capable of all of this. 7 years gone down the drain. She told me she loves him more than she loves me. My friend actually works with her in the same office and he wants to put everything out in the open and just ruin her rep at work. Not sure if that's a good idea. What do you guys think? She changed the password to the email now. I did save a few of them on my phone. I don't even know how to get a hold of her wife. His Facebook is blocked. Comment: I'm sorry about the trouble you're going through. Any way you slice it, where you are now is a very painful place. It does eventually get better, with time. The silver lining here, if there is any, is that your marriage has been relatively brief. That doesn't take much of an edge off the pain, but it does make things otherwise somewhat easier. If she told you the quoted statement, and she was not just saying it for other reason, and let's presume she was not, my guess is that the was plan A, but was unavailable to marry, already married to someone else, and you were plan B, less wanted than plan A but, unlike plan A, available. At some point she may have wanted to cut it off with plan A, but couldn't bring herself to do so, so she decided to be the O to plan A while marrying her plan B so she could get both a marriage of her own and maintain her access to plan A. Do you know when the OM was separated? If it has been recently, last 6 months, given your schedule here, that may have also tripped your W into a mode of seeing plan A as potentially more viable, due to potentially being available if he divorced his wife, which may also have motivated her to maintain the affair with plan A. Very nasty stuff indeed, really. Terrible, in fact, and terrible pain. But getting away from someone like that, as painful as it will be for you, is also much, much better for you in the medium term and beyond. OP responds: now she's calling me saying she wants me back and begging me to come home. It's the hardest thing in the world to tell her it's not possible anymore. He did end it with her, according to her anyway. I know I shouldn't even care and that everything is all her fault, but it's almost hard for me not to feel bad for her. She literally has no one now. She lost him, me, my family, her own family, and even most of her friends are on my side and want nothing to do with her anymore. She's got to be in a horrible place. It's hard enough for me, I can't even imagine what she's going through. But then I guess she deserves it. There's no chance of R anymore. With all the things I now know after reading her secret email account, it's impossible. And at this point I would probably lose all of my family and friends if I got back with her. Expose the affair to the other man's wife, I already did. Told her last week. She had the nerve to text me I thought he loved me. Hilarious. So, I've been thinking a lot about me and my STBX relationship, and I'm pretty sure that she has cheated in the past as well. There were a couple of guys that I have been suspicious of, and lately I feel like I really want to find out. One of the guys is a friend of one of my good friends, so I'm wondering if I should pursue trying to find out or just drop it. What do you guys think? I still haven't decided if I want to know if there were other guys. I'm almost positive there was, but it would just devastate me all over again if I found out for sure. Don't get me wrong, there's no chance of me going back to her. I haven't seen her since I left more than a month ago and have no intention to. It's just tough as hell going from talking to someone every day for 7 years to not at all. Yeah, the lawyer is saying that we will most likely be able to get the annulment. Hopefully that will go through soon. I really have no good answer, but that still doesn't completely take away from how hard it is to completely cut someone out of your life forever when you've known them for so long and been through so much together. She was my life ever since I started college. But yeah, I mean, I definitely see your point. She's the one that threw everything away. I don't trust myself to not respond to her text messages, so I'm just going to have her number blocked through cell company. She's already ruined so many of my nights out with my friends. I can't let her do that anymore, especially with the holidays coming up. She was served with annulment papers on November 1st, so just got to wait now until December 1st to do anything. Yeah, it was hard to talk to a lawyer, but I can't wait till I'm officially annulled. I definitely want to start the new year without her. After wrestling with the decision for so long, I decided I'm going to try to find out if anything happened with that other guy. I've been bothered by just the fact that I don't know for so long that I figured it's best to find out for sure so I can put it behind me. Let's see what happens. She's so sweet. She texted me Happy Thanksgiving. I should probably forgive her for everything now. Ignored it. I was tempted but didn't respond with anything. I was suspicious about another guy a few years ago and wanted to know if there was anything that happened between them two. One of my friends is very good friends with the guy that I was suspicious about, so I had my friend call and try to find out if anything happened. He knows the guy really well and says that he has no doubt in his mind that nothing happened between him and my wife after talking to the guy. So, yay, whatever, now I know at least, assuming it's true, and can just put it all behind me. Still doesn't change what she is. Right now, I'm just glad I have so many awesome friends to surround myself with. And she definitely can't say the same. Some of her former best friends are now the ones helping me out. The other day I drove by her apartment complex because I was in the area for work. Huge mistake. I've been in depression mode ever since. This is the longest that I haven't been able to shake feelings of sadness. Even tried to get myself mad all over again, but doesn't seem to be working. So, one of my friends apparently found out that there were even more guys that she has been with from work. I didn't even know he was looking into it. Should I confront her about it or not? I am done with her, but a part of me wants her to know that I know about more guys, and maybe even tell her family that there were more guys. I ended up confronting her about it. Pointless though, she just denied it. But it made me realize I have absolutely nothing left to say to her. Don't know if I'll ever talk to her again. She called me last night begging me to come back. I despise her for calling and making me think about her all over again. I talked to her yesterday. I screwed up and got in touch with her. I wish I didn't. She sounds so completely broken. Almost ex herself. I feel so bad for her. I don't know what to do. The annulment hasn't gone through yet. We're waiting for the court date. I'm thinking it'll be sometime in February now. Yeah, I told the OM's wife a long time ago. On October 19th. I have no idea if they are trying to R or what, but from the sounds of it, the OM really did leave my ex. She just sounds completely broken and alone. I decided that the most I can do is recommend highly to her that she seek out counseling. I don't see her being able to move on unless she does. But other than that, I guess there's nothing more for me to do. Her family knows that they can get in touch with her. She's still in touch with her brothers and some of her cousins. I'm sure the rest of her family will come around eventually. I put it off for way too long, but I finally got tested and I'm clean. My marriage is officially annulled as of today. Thanks to everyone here for helping me out and steering me in the right direction. My life would be completely different today if I never discovered what a keylogger was. I haven't talked to her in more than a month. She didn't have to be there. I think she's thought we've been annulled for a while now. She probably thinks that we were annulled when she got served papers back in November. She never asked when it would be official, and I'm sure she doesn't know how long of a process it actually was. I saw text messages on her phone and then she admitted to everything when I confronted her. She said she wants to fix things with us and that she won't ever talk to the OM again. I was willing to try out counseling, but I installed a keylogger on my computer. With that, I found out she had a secret email address with more than 700 emails to just him. I read so much crap on there, I couldn't even recognize her anymore. And she had him come to the apartment after she promised she wasn't going to talk to him anymore. I left right away at that point. She applied for a credit card under my name. Got a call from Capital One this morning. Anyone know the sentence for that kind of credit card X in California? Capital One said they are going to investigate and have her arrested. I'm definitely going to get my credit checked. Yay, she has my numbers memorized because she used to work for a bank. I never really worried about it because I didn't think she would stoop this low. But I need to lower my expectations about her. I didn't think she could possibly stoop even lower. But she did. The best part is that she works Social Security, so she's going to lose her job. Not sure about her financial situation, but yay, I will have her jailed. I'm hoping it wasn't a mistake or someone else that applied and that she did actually do this. Just learned yesterday that the OMW kicked the OM out of the house 4 months ago. What a coincidence that she stopped getting in touch with me at right around that time. I'm guessing they've been living together in her apartment. Match made in heaven. I think if she cheats on him, she'll be admitting that she made the worst mistake of her life. Right now, she's probably in denial. I wouldn't be surprised at all if he cheats on her though. Just a matter of time really. The OMW is filing for divorce and suing for alimony and child support, so I'm sure he has a lot to look forward in coming years. He'll need some cake to help him cope with the stress. The cheating question, she never gave me a good answer. There really isn't a good answer. She said she got lost and couldn't help herself. and that after a while, she justified it in her head so it didn't seem so wrong. The bottom line is that she had huge self-esteem issues. She also had daddy issues. I tried to help her with both when we were together, but she chose to betray me instead. A year before we got married, we lived about 2 hours apart and I only saw her once a week. Her and the OM probably saw each other the rest of the week. I read emails that hinted that they saw each other all the time. Couldn't help it. Posted this on Facebook. I would have thought my life would be so much better without you in it. Happy 1 year. I doubt she's going to respond. She'll probably just read it and complain to the OM about it. She's not even on Facebook anymore. She deleted her account cause she was afraid of getting harassed by everybody lol. She goes on from her cousin's account and stalks everyone from that. Wow, today sucked. Ran into a bunch of her old co-workers from years ago. One of them was the bee that knew the whole time and helped her sneak around. Don't know why, but that just ruined my mood. I was visibly uncomfortable and I'm kind of annoyed how I handled it. It just caught me off guard. I should have called her helper a bee or something. One of the guys told me though that when he found out, he cussed her out and never spoke with her again. As of today, it's officially been a year since D-Day and when I started this thread. I don't come on this site too much anymore, but I just wanted to post an update to where I am today and hopefully let the new people here know that things do eventually get better. A year ago was one of the worst days of my life. I went through pain that I wish no one ever had to go through. It's a horrible place to be in, as I'm sure most people here already know. But writing about it today, I'm grateful I went through it. I've learned so much about myself during this last year. I know what I want in life now and who I want to surround myself with. I've learned how amazing my friends and family are. And, not to sound crappy, but I've also realized that I'm pretty much the strongest person I know. It may sound corny, but what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Seriously, if you can survive something like this, you can survive anything. This past year, I've become a better person overall. I'm much more open to try new things. I've become much more outgoing and just all around a lot happier in my life. I didn't even realize that I wasn't truly happy until I got out of that relationship. Looking back at it, I shudder at the thought of ever being with my ex. Life is just so much better now. I've officially started seeing someone a month ago who is beautiful and all around much better of a person than my ex ever was. The universe is crazy because I actually met this girl with my ex during the brief time that we were married. Actually, I met her on the same day that I first started to get suspicious of my ex. Pretty nuts. If someone told me then that a year from that day I would be annulled from my wife and dating this girl, I would have called them crazy. My advice for others who are going through my situation: find some hobbies to keep you occupied and make yourself physically fit. Working out really helped me a hell of a lot. I started lifting, running, and doing Bikram yoga, and now I just can't imagine my life without all that. Stay busy, get out of the house a lot. That helped me at least. And just actively try to make yourself grow from everything that you're going through. Update on her. I have no clue if she's still with the OM. I don't really give a crap. Last I heard, the OMW is divorcing and suing him for as much as she can. And according to my friend who still sees my ex at work, she's gotten really big and looks like she's aged quite a bit lol. I have absolutely no regrets with everything that happened. I truly believe it was the best thing that ever happened to me, and anyone else going through the same thing, keep your head up. You'll get through it too. My comment: good for you OP, you snapped out of the fog and seek the truth of your marriage. It will be better here going forward. Story 2. My boyfriend and I have been together for years. We plan to move in together and marry within a year. Recently, his kids from a prior relationship moved closer. Before, they were 8 hours away and he rarely saw them in person. Now that they are closer, the time and communications with me decreased greatly. He has been desperately seeking another job to help support them. I expressed concern to him about the decrease of attention to us. I asked him, was it that he just wasn't that into me anymore? He blamed the issue on making up lost time with his kids and being very focused on finding a job. He told me that he was trying hard to balance his life and make me happy as well. Well, about a week later, I asked if we could meet for lunch. He said that evening would be a great time. Once I had my day closed up and was free, I called him to finalize our plans, but his phone wasn't on. I took my night bath planning to call him later, but when I got out, I had a message from him. He said that he has a lot of things going on. He asked me if I could give him some time. He added that he wasn't ignoring me or anything, he was just going through something. I have been saddened over this. He has never been the type to speak on his problems. His motto is to let things roll off and not make bigger problems out of things. I have always admired his positivity. He actually took me by surprise recently because he shared with me that his life is hard right now. He said he needed a better job and that he couldn't keep living without having enough money. That actually nearly ripped me to shreds. I do truly love this man and I realize that even more now. I didn't tell him what I needed to talk about. My plan was to tell him I feel like we should work on our communication and to give me a visual on how I would fit into his life now that his kids are such a huge part. He is a great father and I admire that. I am trying my best to have patience and understanding. In the past he asked me to hang in there. I really don't know what this giving him time thing is or why. In the conversation we had last week, my goal was to find out where I now stood in his life. At the time, he reassured me that I was one of his priorities, and it was explained that he is using every bit of his free time to find another job and with his kids. He expressed the desperation to find this job. I gave him my understanding of the situation. There have been issues with the kids and money, so I do understand that part. We were communicating each day, but actually spending time together was low. It is like things had picked up a little, but not much. This was when I planned to talk to him again. I wanted to actually tell him that we needed to work on our communication. I was also going to tell him what all needed to happen in order for me to be content. If we couldn't come up with something or weren't willing to, I was actually prepping myself to move on. However, I didn't have a chance to do this because this is when he mentioned going through something and asked if I could give him some time. The only issue he has ever expressed to me was that the kids ran out of groceries and needed his help, etc. The issues are always money related. Evidently their mother is having a hard time and he can't do much to help. I really don't know what to expect with the giving him time thing. I mean, I've never had anyone ask this of me before. What would you guys advise? I've been reading on it and the articles keep saying to not call or text. At the time, I don't want to just sit in the dark. There comes a point in which something has to transpire, but I don't know when that is or how to approach it right. My thing is that I basically asked him last week if he were not interested anymore. Also, this is not just some guy I have been messing around with for a couple of months. I've been with him for years. This is a man I plan to marry. He said that there wasn't a lack of interest, but that he was very busy trying to feed his kids. I understood. As I thought on it more, I realized that the time he is now spending to find another job will just be replaced with the actual job. My question for him was going to be where that leaves me. I need a better idea of what his vision for us is. But we weren't able to have that conversation. I guess my question for you guys is what you would do in the situation. I literally search online to find the best way. The articles keep repeating the same theme, which is to not call or text because I'll smother them. But at the same time, when he asked for the time, it wasn't supposed to have anything to do with me at all. So, with this being a new situation for me, I don't know if I'm supposed to ask or what. I agree that kids should come first. My main issue is that all of this is sudden. They had very limited time with him for years. Now, they get all the time they want. It's like all of this is happening to me all of a sudden and it's hard. I don't think he is messing around with their mother. It just isn't a thought. I'm going to take what I have learned from here and speak to him about this tomorrow. I'm going to want to know what he is going through so that I know what I am up against. Then, I'm going to want some type of idea of what our future looks like together. I'm not going to demand a routine or schedule, but as someone said, we should be seeing each other at least once each week. If that can't happen, I will have to move on. It will hurt, but it hurts now. He made payments, but it was never enough. The mother even took out papers to have the amount increased, which it was denied. The mother's income has since decreased. The kids now come over each day after school until they leave later that evening. That's dinner and anything else they need. He has 2 girls and a boy. The girls are in middle school and the boy is in high school. I've been with him for 2 years. He has been split from his ex since the youngest was a toddler. I don't feel any type of way about her. She seems nice, quiet. Does it seem like I'm competing with his kids? I hope not. To be clear, he wasn't more than willing to spend limited time with his kids. I will contend that he has been an amazing father. I can never take that from him no matter what he does. He called them all he could and spent time with him as often as he could. There were elements that made that time low. He definitely wanted to be with them. Like I may have said before, he recently confided in me that he was going through hardship. Every promising position rejects him due to lack of qualifications, and he isn't able to provide for them the way he wants. If he is really having a breakdown or going through something, I just would hate to jump out and make relationship demands instead of doing what he asked, which is to give him some time. I think I need to ask him what he is going through. I need to know instead of allowing my mind to wander and risk assuming or jumping to conclusions. I will ask him later tonight, which I would have given him 2 days of time. Then, once I know what is wrong, we can go from there. He thinks that I am wonderful with my nephews and is very motherly. We had a plan as far as my own hand's involvement with his kids was concerned. This weekend, I rekindled a hobby of mine. I also went out to dinner with some friends of mine. Through it all, I found myself in sadness, confusion, and with knots in my stomach. I decided that is no way for a person to be. I don't deserve to feel that way. I only read 1 chapter of the book and it has only been a few days since I haven't spoken to him, so I may have done the wrong thing by deciding to contact him. However, I find it inhumane to sit in the dark with a big question mark over my head, and I wasn't going to do it. When you're in a relationship, I think a person should have some type of clue of what is going on and how long it will be. I may not be in agreement with whatever it is, even if I love them. I'm an in-person type of person when it comes to having conversations. But I just wanted to get this over with. I typed up how I felt and pasted it to him. There may be mistakes in what I communicated, but it was coming from my heart. I told him that I needed clarification. I said that he asked for time, but is that a week, a month, 8 months, or does he actually want out? I asked for what type of compromise he was looking for so that I could have solace and know what I am sitting on. I told him that I felt blown off in a way and that I have realized over these few days that my love for him is real. I mentioned some of my favorite memories of us but told him that I could respect him if he provided what I asked, regardless of what his reply was. I know you may look over this and think that some of what I said wasn't the best, but it's me. Relationships should end properly if they are going to end, not fade slowly with games, if that is what is going on. In either case, I will have my confirmation one way or another and I can move forward with my life. I'll tell you guys exactly what happened. I received a call from his cell phone, except it was a woman wanting to know why I was in contact with her fiancé. She told me that they've been dating for 4 months. She kept asking me if I had been sleeping with him. I wouldn't answer her or deny it. She told me that there were a lot of women in his phone and that she was tired of it. I told her that I would be willing to speak with him and her together, but other than that I wasn't going to be in the middle of drama or mess. She said she understood but wouldn't have the meeting. After this, I decided to gather evidence before speaking with him about this woman calling me. I went to one of his best friends about it. Even though it was a close friend of his, the person was actually once really close to one of my siblings. I knew that they would tell me who the woman was if I asked based on the past connection. The friend told me that the woman wasn't his fiancée and that she was just trying to mark her grounds. The friend said that the woman doesn't realize that she is just a number on the list of the many women that my boyfriend is sleeping with. It was said that he has always been a womanizer and would never change. It was clear that the friend didn't even realize how serious of a relationship I was in. The friend said that he has babies on the way and it should be clear that he isn't trying to settle with the woman. I've heard this about babies before. I told him that I seriously needed to know if he were screwing around so that I could put my health first. He denied it. One of the babies are supposed to be for his current baby's mother, just like someone here stated. When I received this information, I didn't want to have anything else to do with him. I didn't want to talk to him again. I only asked him to make sure that the woman didn't contact me again. He apologized and said that it wouldn't happen again. Later that night, I asked him if he really didn't have anything other than that to say. He claimed to not know what the woman said to me. Once I told him, he said that she was just a friend that he hung out with, that he forgot his phone at her house, blah blah blah, she is crazy, blah blah blah. That night, I slept on it. I figured out a way to share the information that his friend gave me without exposing my source. I also wanted to point out that he always tells me that he is busy. He'll let me know. He overslept. His kids are with him, etc., but he had perfect time to drive to this friend's house. I wanted to sit down to break up. All he would do was text. I kept asking when he was available in person because it was a serious topic that shouldn't be done by text. He kept asking me to just text it. He then told me that I was playing games and to not even worry about it. I told him that I wasn't playing games, just wanted it in person. In the end, it was clear that he wasn't interested in talking. If he were, he would have called. I don't plan on contacting him again. I don't know what happened to my friend that I fell madly in love with, or even if that person really existed. He has proven to be a devious lie teller, fighting and disputes in public. He's banned from someone's property. He's having unprotected times and putting people that care about him at risk. What happens if he gives his child's mother AIDS? Who will care for their kids? Yes, I am disappointed that so many years of my life were a lie. That someone that was once such a big part of my life is just gone now. I do wonder if his mom knew about this because she seemed to love and care for me a great deal. But, in the end, it sickens me that I helped him get a job all the while he was dogging me behind my back. I hate how he grins and hugs on my mom, jokes to my dad while lying to their daughter. I am saddened that I held on to my virginity for as long as I did, only to give it to this person that most likely didn't appreciate what I had did. This is his loss. He can't possibly be happy, and I can't imagine him being able to support all of those kids. He's drunk and passing out a lot. I deserve better. I also hope that the way I would question him about red flags will at least let him know that he wasn't as slick as he may think he is. I will focus on the positive. There was money being set aside for our future that I can now spend on my future or however I want. I can now spend time with people that want me there. Years were wasted, but I still have years in me. Plenty of time for kids and experiences. I got a new tattoo yesterday and I did some shopping. The upbeat mood didn't last and things were sour once I started to see happy couples. I cried really bad last night. I'm hoping that I just needed to get it all out and that last night was the start of a new me. I wish I could just pick up and move on easily, but it's almost like every bad thing that can happen to a woman in a relationship all happened to me at once. I'm just so tired of feeling intense pain at the hands of people that I care about and love. I'm going to try my best to stop overthinking the bad sides and focus on the positive. Maybe I am getting out of this nonsense before things get really serious. I'm probably not going to post much anymore after this, at least until I become more stable. I've decided that it is really up to me how I feel each day. It is my own thoughts and beliefs that are upsetting me. I've decided to believe the following write-up because it makes me feel better. I'll never know if it is true or not, but it is better to believe it than all of the negative things that I'm feeding into myself each day. I think that all he really thinks about is a good time. I have to admit that we used to have a lot of online X at the time. I felt as though we needed it because we lived so far apart. Anytime we spent time together, he would always have a solid erection without me doing or saying anything at all. I doubt that this is something that changes around other people. I think he did care about me and love me as a friend, but the intense love that I had was one-sided. He does not know how to have romantic love. His love is physical. I recall him sharing with me that when he was a young boy, his parents had issues with him masturbating a lot. There is something with him. Maybe he saw something as a kid or something happened to him. Who knows? I don't think any woman can feed his hunger. Not one with a job and actual interests and hobbies. It's not about him picking an actual woman over me. It's about him picking people that cater to his interest more. Not many women will actually just sit talking about physical times all of the time and will leave a guy that talks about it all of the time. Years ago, I remember telling him on the phone that it seemed like all we did was discuss bonding. It changed for a few days and then it inched back. He told me how hard it was to not talk about it. When women threat like that, he pulls at their heartstrings. I think the women that realized their options the most or had such a high threat of leaving are the ones that received engagements from him or promises for the future. He's not heads over heels for either, but when a woman gets head over heels for him, he tries to accommodate. I do think he is insecure some. Between that insecurity and his strong desire for bonding, I think he will always have many women that he is dealing with. It really doesn't matter if he were with me or anyone else. We would all have the same story to tell. He will never be totally into anyone unless they are totally into bonding. In the end, he really didn't want all of the things I wanted to do with our time. If I wanted to go to the movies, he'd lie about being unable to make it and sleeping with someone else. I think he still wanted to get whatever bonding he could get out of me and didn't want to hurt his friend. He lied for as long as he could to protect his friend's feelings and maintain the bonding. Even for a cheating man, I don't think it is normal to have so many pictures of women in their phone. I do think his texts had nothing to do with him needing my help. I think he would like to maintain a friendship with me. If I want to sit and listen to his conquests with women, I'm sure he would welcome it. It could also be the opposite. He may want me to be understanding of how he is and still extend bonding. Who really knows? I do know that I feel better as typing this and I don't want to cry anymore. I feel like it isn't about me. I was tested for STDs on Monday. While I'm awaiting test results for some of them, the HIV test results were ready in under 20 minutes after the test. I tried to prepare myself for any result, but there really isn't a word that actually captures how I felt as I waited. Torture isn't a strong enough word. In the end, the HIV test results returned negative. As I sat in the office, I reflected on how I was being tested because the man I planned to marry had been so careless and disrespectful of me. I thought back on how he is having children with other women now. He proposed to another woman. He was in actual relationships with other women. He lied compulsively. He cheated rampantly. I thought about how all of these horrible things were inflicted on me by someone that I loved, not an enemy at all. I had never felt a pain that strong. He was never going to marry me nor this other woman. Maybe he will marry her now, who knows, because he will no longer have to hide her from me. If I met a man matching his description now, I wouldn't give the man the time of day. I'm working to realize that this man doesn't deserve me at all. The ending of this relationship is his loss and I have dodged a bullet. I should be thanking my lucky stars that I caught him and be glad in it. I've been remaining as active as I can and spending times with friends and making new ones. It really does help a lot. When I am out and about, I forget the pain. Each day gets easier. My comment: he is too dysfunctional to be in a relationship with. Those with abuse, neglect, and other issues as children have a tendency to be higher on the promiscuous scale. These things are out of your control, and if he is not seeing a therapist, then he is less likely to understand it himself. You could meet new people, since we only have a capacity to form a few limited intimate relationships before other attachments start fading. Working out, sleeping well, eating right, can help form new neurons. Taking positive steps, whether you feel like it or not, could affect your outlook. Make goals and keep making goals. You should strive to keep going beyond a lifetime. The goal is not to complete them all but living and experiencing life.